Hello, everybody. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. My name's Carl from Mac and Forth, and we're going to be here for another week as we come back and look forward to all the events coming up the week after next at the Apple event that's on the horizon. All getting very excited, I suppose, if you're an Apple fanboy. If you're not an Apple fanboy, though, or you work for the Forbes contribution network, then any excuse to bash Apple must never be missed. And one of the reasons I set up this YouTube channel for Mac and Forth was so we can go through some of the stories that appear from the Forbes contribution network because they are so funny most of the time. I know why they do it because it gets a lot of clicks and it gets a lot of traffic. So why not? You might as well take advantage of this kind of thing. So we got one here today. Apple iPhone 11 slaps me with imperious indecision. And let's read his piece here. So here we go. There's a lot of shock and stun from some of the more serious Apple enthusiasts when it comes to the upcoming release of the iPhone 11. Now, I'm not sure what he means by shock and stun. He could be referring actually to the leaked specs that came out for the iPhone 11 recently. It was either over the weekend or late last week, detailing basically from a Reddit post all the stuff that we are meant to be getting the week after next. The problem with that is, however, is 9 to 5 Mac did a bit of digging, and the spec leak was nonsense. It came from a fan site, but once it started to come out, most people went with it, picked it up, and wrote their own stories, basically quoted verbatim what was on the press release. Now, unless any other further information has come out that I'm currently unaware of, that's where that piece of information comes from. So the specs that have leaked are nonsense, basically. They're fan made up. They're made up by a fan, sorry, but they're presented in such a way it's just rumors that we've heard and sort of all collated together, and that was picked up by another site, and then that particular site was picked up by a number of other tech journalists and wrote they had pieces written from it. So there you go. I don't know, make of that what you will. Anyway, we continue. There hasn't been this much excitement for an Apple phone since the last one. Well, duh. We're at peak, nay, max titillation for the annual Apple phone dump. For me, something just feels off. I've been fairly harsh on Apple over the years about its phones and overall ecosystem. I can't even competently search for all the times I've riffed on Apple to the chagrin of fanboys who subsequently light up my email after every satirical Apple blast. Yeah, satirical. It's funny, isn't it? I don't believe so, but okay. Maybe some of them. I've not read all his stuff, granted. Email, I doubt it. Maybe Twitter, but anyway, we continue. This time around, I'm getting a sense that while I'm already feeling the exhaustion from a tech company constantly licking its own tech hole, I might be ready to hand them a mint. Oh, really? Is he having a change of heart then, shall we? While this sentiment might not be ascribed to just myself, there are two things that are creating this middling and contradictory sense of semi-excited apathy towards Apple and its upcoming iPhone 11 release. And it has nothing to do with the triple camera monstrosity on the iPhone 11. What? We don't even know. iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro Max. It has to do with inconsistent numbering and the Apple Card. Why? What's numbering got to do with anything? Who cares? I mean, it's a name. It's just a designator from the last one. Who cares what they call it? Once it comes out, we all get used to whatever it's called. It doesn't matter. There was never an iPhone 9. Well done, sir. There was plenty of assumptions about it, but it never came into existence. While the iPhone XR sort of took that spot in the lineup, it wasn't numbered. Oh no! Then Apple returned to numbers, or at least something resembling a number with the iPhone X. But the petty and pointless debate over it being an X or a Roman numeral for the number 10 lasted way too long because sites like you went on about it constantly. That was why the rest of us got used to it in about a week. We could never pronounce it the right way, granted. Alan still calls it the iPhone X, but that's neither here nor there. Who cares? Regardless, now we have 11, although we don't, do we, officially yet, because we have no idea what it's going to be called until next week. Or is it the week after? No, it's next week. Yeah. Uh, so, regardless, now we have 11, so we know where Apple stood on that, except we don't yet. Sure, I'm still using a 6-year-old Motorola Droid Ultra. Well, how can that be? This guy's been slagging off Apple phones for God knows how long. Surely he's been trying them out before he's been slagging them. So I probably don't have too much room to opine on the routine annual appearance of Apple phones. Numbering conventions be damned. There also might be a tad of nonsense to all of this, but since we live in a world where every minute detail is deconstructed in hour-long YouTube videos and Forbes posts, it seems relevant to issue a small but audible cough in response to going from X or 10 to 11. Why? Maybe. I don't know. The Apple iPhone 11 is actually the first iPhone for a moment, for about as long as data considered becoming Borg, I felt a pang of actual interest and not the normal feeling of bile and cynicism towards Apple. Open-minded, then. then it released the Apple Card. Oh no! And the subsequent card instructions that would make Patrick Bateman's head explode. Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? But if you want to keep your card pristine white, I don't know. It's okay if you got one, I guess. Anyway, whatever momentary softening I had for Apple was completely and wholly washed away like a hard, gnarling flush in a public restroom. No comment? How could I possibly consider entering into this ecosystem of such brutal, cultish tech? Is it? It's just nonsense. The people who were writing things about that were people like you. No one else cares. No normal people care. That's the point. You're all doing a circle jerk most of the time, and you're responding to nonsense stories from pro Apple people, which mean nothing. If Apple puts out a press release or anything, they see an opportunity, just like you, to get clicks, to get people to read and click on their website, to service ads to your readership. That's all it is. It's a big circle jerk. It's a pain in the bottom. Even with all the red flags when it comes to an ecosystem that I really want no part of, the Apple iPhone 11, from a technical perspective, is quite appealing. Well, not so much from a price perspective, as I'd need to spend $1,000 on the phone. Not necessarily, because that's only the max and the big ones at that. You can still pick up an iPhone 10R for about 700 quid, I think it is, and there's lots of deals you can get it cheaper than that at the moment. But with just a tinge of lust for an Apple phone, I can see how one could easily spend $1,000 on a phone. Yeah, sure. If you've got the money, spend it. Just like anything else in this world. Will I actually walk into the Apple store this year? I don't know. I think after the keynote next week, probably not. Tim Cook and Apple will do a good job of putting me off the brand once again with their holier-than-thou presentation style. Like every other keynote, like every other presentation, like everybody, when they're selling you something, they have to say, they have to sell the good points. There's no point coming onto the stage and going, yeah, here's the phone, it's basically the same as last year. Please buy it. However, in this, holier-than-thou world, you got to be, well, I don't know what you got to be. Where we got? Presentation. But the brand is getting a bit closer to getting me on its side. Perhaps around the iPhone 27, I'll be all in. Please don't be. Please never come across. Please stick with your Droid and have fun over there in the Apple sphere. Because Android sphere. Because Android have some wonderful people, and we can keep getting interesting, fun pieces like this. So I'm going to keep my eye on the Forbes Contribution Network. The point is, we get pieces like this, and they're just, well, they are funny, aren't they? They're satirical, like he says, kind of, in the start. But it's also a little bit of a dig. But who cares? It's a pointless story. So what we basically learn in this contribution piece, iPhone's coming out next week. He was interested in it, but since he doesn't actually like Apple, he probably won't be buying one. So fantastic. I'm so glad that I took the time to read that. And I'm glad I took the time to create a video so you could read it too. So there we go. Fantastic stuff. But what can you do? And I'm looking forward to getting some more pieces like this, because there was bound to be a piece that comes out, the reasons, the 10 shocking reasons that Apple hasn't told you about the new iPhone release, or there'll be countless other ones, because it's good fun. And I think we should like pick it apart and have some fun with it, because why not? No point getting upset, no point sending off emails and tweets to him saying, oh, you don't understand, because he knows exactly what he's doing. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's just a bit of fun, really, isn't it? So that's pretty much all I got for you today. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you'll get a notice when I post something new. I'm going to try and ramp up the production of these videos now. Hopefully try and do one a day. I'm not sure how long that will last for, until I may be burnt out, but they are good fun, and I enjoy messing around with them. So that's pretty much it from me today. So until next time, please, everybody out there, stay safe and be nice to each other. Bye.